Hello Destinites, and welcome to a discussion of Destiny's balance changes to 6 of the exotics in the game. We've got 2 hand cannons, we've got a shotgun, we've got an assault rifle, we've got a sniper rifle, and finally a confused fusion rifle that thinks it's a heavy weapon. It is a heavy weapon, but anyways, let's jump right into it. So the first one that we're going to talk about is a weapon that I can't wait to get. I haven't got it yet, but I really like the playstyle and it's being buffed, and that's the first cursed. So if you're familiar with the last word is basically the polar opposite. The last word is a bullet storm, crazy fast shots, not really rewarding a patient player. The first curse is the longest range hand cannon in the game, and they want to more assert that fact about it. So what they're going to do is give it a plus 25 to range. So when it was already the longest distance hand cannon in the game, this is becoming a sniper hand cannon with an additional 25 to range, which is fantastic. You should know as well that this is available as a rank 5 reward from the gunsmith. Sorry, not reward, but you can get a quest chain once you've reached rank 5 with the gunsmith, and then you can get this weapon, so it's not off some random drop. So there you go, you've got the base increase to range, what's going to put it into kind of its style more assertively. And then in addition to that, Deadeye, a perk on it which when activated, which is aiming down the scope, or aiming down the sights, ADS, sorry, when activated increases stability, target acquisition. And now what it's going to do is have a refill effect on your magazine. Deadeye will now return bullets to your magazine, sort of. Or it's got a reload feature, kind of, I guess you could say. In addition to that, where it's had the range increased on the weapon, another detail, which is this is very, very important and maybe not totally appreciated, damage fall off. So the farther you are away from something, the less damage that you're going to do. What they're doing is they're going to extend that distance out further with this weapon. So before you start losing damage on your target, you need to be further away. So when you've got mad range, which you've already got, and then you get further damage fall off, that's why I keep saying this could potentially turn into the sniper hand cannon. So we'll see. We might have another thorn on our hands depending on how this all plays out. But I'm really curious to use it. I'm excited, and it's fun to see when something new like this gets tossed in with a big buff. The one following up from this now, moving along, we are in the exact opposite range. This weapon is too strong. It's the Hawk Moon. The Hawk Moon, it was just rising above the competition, as they said, where it had just its amazing accuracy. Accuracy down the sights was too much, so they wanted to do something to address that fact, and they've done 2 things, in fact, to address it. So whereas the first curse got a bonus to its range, the Hawk Moon is going to get a reduced range. Not only that, the Hawk Moon comes equipped with lucky bullets. It's got luck in the chamber and holding aces. Now, where when those activated before, they used to give you a 1.3 damage modifier, that's been put down to a 1.2 damage modifier. So you're going to see less damage out of those perks. You're also going to see less range. Now, they feel that this sort of severe nerf is reasonable. They can justify it because they say that it has the largest magazine in the game, and you can still potentially kill somebody with 2 shots if you're lucky, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe it still stays just as strong, but those sound like really significant nerfs that it's getting. So I think we're going to see far less of that, obviously, and far more of the first curse. Also, you should know, if you're trying to get this with your Warlock or Titan, that it's not going to happen. This is a hunter-only weapon that you can, and I believe it's a quest line. Okay, then we're moving along now to the third. The third is definitely going to be seen less of, like all of its brethren, is the Chaperone, the shotgun. The mean, devilish-looking Chaperone. It actually looks cool. I think it's one of the best designed, art style weapons they have. But anyways, it's going to get a buff and a nerf. And the buff is going to reward skilled players. The nerf is going to punish the unskilled, which is good. That's actually what you would want, right? So let's start first with the nerf. So the nerf is basic. It's going to get a reduced to the base damage. Now, when you consider this alongside all the other nerfs that are coming to shotguns, this is pretty significant. You know, their stability, their handling, their ability to shoot out of a sprint has been slowed. All these different things are being reduced on shotguns. So when you reduce the base damage in addition to that, you've really taken a swing at this weapon class. So the Chaperone will be far less useful in that way. But I did mention, and you'll see it on the screen obviously, is that there is a perk, or a buff I should say, and that is an increase to precision damage. So if you're a good player and you're hitting precision shots, maybe you see something good actually coming out of this patch and you don't have to worry so much. But I feel like I say, because there's such a nerf occurring for shotguns, generally speaking, that this overall is just going to impact the weapon class, that we're going to see them melt away. I wait to be proven wrong. Alright, now we're coming to the weapon class in the game, excuse me, that received a buff, generally speaking. So we're going to see a lot of this, of course. The next one that I'm going to talk about is the Fabian strategy. The Fabian strategy is an assault rifle that is available from the gunsmith at rank 3 as a quest. So if you do the quest, having reached rank 3 as a Titan, I should say specifically, then you can get the Fabian strategy. The Fabian strategy has a bunch of changes coming to it, which kind of convolutes the end result. It's hard to say exactly what this is going to turn into, because you've got plus and minuses all over the place. If you'd like, I'll have all the information on the screen. You can just pause it, or if you don't feel like reading, that's of course why I'm making the video. So they've done this. The front lines perk that it has no longer buffs rate of fire, but what they've done then is the base rate of fire is now the highest speed that you can have. They say in addition to that, of course, that because it has the highest rate of fire, they've offset the damage. All that means is high rate of fire assault rifles do less damage per bullet because they shoot more shots. So that's just, you know, goes without saying. They've messed around with a bunch of the perks that you had available to you before. They've removed extended mag, and instead they've given you flared magwell. And you can see how these two kind of balance each other. Extended mag, obviously more ammo, that's gone. They've given you flared magwell. It gives you plus 100 reload, minus 10 to stability. So you get that speed, you get those bullets back into your magazine faster, as though, you know, you had them already there, but you are losing stability. So that is the problem. But wait, this gets more convoluted. So they've also increased the base stability and reload of this weapon. Now this is, like I say, it's very strange, because we just saw that the reload speed has been increased, and then if you get flared magwell, that you're going to have your reload speed increased, and that when you had minus stability as a result of the flared magwell, you're also getting a stability increase naturally on the weapon now. So it's kind of all balancing out. Small bore, which was a perk that it had before, which would give you range and stability plus, and reload and mag size reduced, is now gone, and that's been replaced with rifled barrel, which gives you plus range and minus on your reload. So it's just a big mess. If you want to pause it there, you can see, but I think because all these assault rifles are getting a huge damage buff, that you're going to want to go find this from the gunsmith, or not find it, but you should get rank up to quest level 3 with him and go grab this sucker, because they're going to be awesome. Alright, moving along now. So this is it's both a cosmetic change, and it's going to change the way that the gun plays, generally speaking. It's the Black Spindle. So the Black Spindle is one of these exotics that you can get from doing a weekly story quest, I should say. And the Black Spindle has one scope, and so to move in line with that, what they've done is they've replaced scope upgrades with barrel upgrades, because they were thinking, why are we giving them scope upgrades when the thing only has one scope? And I think this stands to reason that if you see barrel upgrades are different from scope upgrades, of course, because one is for taking, you know, finding your target, the other is affecting how the bullet is going to fly. So they haven't said explicitly what exactly it's going to change to, but I mean, if you look through the different perks that you can see for barrels, you can kind of infer the direction that is going. So I wouldn't even necessarily, that's just a rebalancing. I wouldn't call this a buff or a nerf. We have to see how it plays out once it's got a little more, you know, a few more hours under its wing. The final, we've arrived now at the final exotic, which is the Sleeper Simulant. So the Sleeper Simulant had like really strange things wrong with it. The first one that I'll just get out of the way first. So it's going to receive a buff, a very basic buff. It's going to have its maximum inventory ammo buffed from 7 to 9. Now here's a strange detail. This is interesting to me. The cool thing that they had about the Sleeper Simulant is that it is considered a heavy weapon, but it's a fusion rifle. So you have a fusion rifle fitting into a heavy weapon slot. Well, this caused a bug. Basically, it was that anything in your armor that would give a perk to fusion rifles was giving a perk to the Sleeper Simulant, even though it's now being used like a heavy weapon. So all they've done here, just kind of like the Black Spindle, it's a shuffling of cards, is that they've now changed that it will properly receive the heavy armor perk from the heavy, because it is a heavy weapon. So if you have an item of armor on that is giving a perk to heavy weapons, it will get it from that, as opposed to if you had something that had fusion rifles. So people are now going to madly go looking through their inventories to see exactly how this affects them if they've been using it. Although I'd imagine that a number of players probably had no idea that this was even happening and were assuming that it was a heavy weapon perk that it was getting. And so now they will actually get that. So they probably will net something out of this as a result of the change. So there it is. There you have it. Those are the 6. I'm going to make another video shortly because there's a bunch of Year 1 exotics that are going to return. This was just a rebalancing of the existing exotics that they had, or some of them anyways. And I'll be discussing all of those, one of which I'm very excited to see come back. I wonder exactly how they'll change it, is the Hard Light, which is an assault rifle, mean assault rifle, but wasn't nearly stable enough. I'm wondering if they're going to affect that, and it would be exciting if you've watched the other video I've made, because like I say, all base damage is increasing to the assault rifles. Well, there you have it, Destinites. All the information. I hope you find it useful. I hope you tag that like button. I hope you comment and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on the weapon changes, and I will catch you in the next video. This is the Great Owl signing off. Ciao for now.